do you put your product online? Great. To put your product online, one of the first things you need to do is to ensure that you have the product. Now, it's recommended that you have the physical item of the product so that when you get orders, you are able to ship the item. And also note, it helps you for easy description of the product. If the product is physically available, you can properly describe it and create content around that product before the product goes online. Number two, it's required that you have images of the product. It's required that you have images of the product. Let's take a look at this product right here. Please note that you'll be required to upload images of the item. You can see, and one of the requirements for images is that number one, they are clean, clear images. The image has to be clear, they have to look good and appealing and attractive to the customers. If the images do not look good, they're not likely to attract the right customers that you want. All right, even if the price is great, if the images are poor, it creates the wrong impression of the product. And you may need to go to a studio to get pictures of your product. You may need to go online to look out for pictures of the same item that you sell so you can put them online. Please note, you need to have these images on your mobile phone, your desktop computers, or your tablet while creating your product. Yes, it's important I mention that you can create your product or manage your seller account from your mobile phone, right? You don't need to have a computer. You can do everything from your mobile phone. Now let's get started. I'll simply ensure I save these images on my PC so I can show you how this is done. We get about minimum of 2 to 3 images so we can show you how this is done. All right, great. Let's move on. All right, so I've gotten some images and I'll try to replicate this product online so you can see how to create your product. Remember I said this: number one, you need to have the product. Number two, have images of the product. And number three, go online to see if that product is available. Now, one reason why you should go online to see if that product is available, because I would like to show you a shortcut to creating your product, especially if the product exists online already. So this is a quick shortcut to creating your product. Now let's assume we intend to create this product. As you can see, it's currently online. All we need to do is to look up the product and click on have one to sell. Now this tells us that you have a similar product, or rather the same product you intend to sell. So all I need to do is click on have one to sell, and it copies the entire product information into my store. All right, it copies the entire product information into my store except for the seller SKU, the quantity, which we'll talk about later on during the course of the session. You can find all of the images right here. All the product information remains the same, but I'll need to make certain changes. Like it states here, product line, I'll need to make changes to this. The next I'd like to show you is how to create your product online. Now, to create your product online, you simply need to go to your seller center, click on product, then create a new product. Once done, you need to click on create a new product again, browse category, then simply select the product category. Now, some sellers have difficulty in this part because they do not exactly know the product category their item should fall under. So while creating your product, I recommend you kindly go online and look out for the same product or similar product that you intend to sell and simply copy out the product information. So right here, zoom in a bit, you can see you have fashion, men's fashion, shoes, and fashion sneakers. Fashion, men's fashion, shoes, and fashion sneakers. So I'll simply look up this information, come in here, fashion, men's fashion, shoes, and fashion sneakers. You see how easy that is, right? Now it's more difficult if I intend to start looking out for which product category matches the item that I intend to sell. While I could just simply go online to the website, look up an existing product, and copy the product category. Yes, life is that easy. Now let's move on quickly. Simply click on fashion sneakers to select the product category. Now by doing that, I've simply selected the product category for this item. Now one reason why you should put the product in the right product category is number one, if you put the product in the wrong category, it may not be approved. So you need to ensure that you get the category right. Number two, even if it is approved, probably a similar category, you will not get the desired visibility that you want, because once customers are searching for product, they are looking out for items based on the category and subcategory. So ensure you put the product in the right category. Now let's move on quickly. All we need to do right now is to simply describe this product. We need to simply describe this product. Now, I'd like to explain a few things that we have on the screen right now so we can all understand. Right here, we have what we call the Jumia content score. The content score provides you with all the key parameters or key information you need to put into your product, and also the terms for which this information should be placed into your product. So right here we have the title character, which requires about 15 to 60 characters. So while creating the product, ensure that the title character does not exceed 60 characters. So these are things you need to take note of as a seller. You have the description words should be more than or equal to 150 words, and you can find a whole lot of parameters right here that we need to take note of. Now, as you begin to fill in all the information in here, the content score rises. The content score determines two things. It determines number one, product approval, number two, product visibility. If your content score is low, your product may not get approved and you will not get desired visibility. But if your content score is high, you're likely to get your product approved and also enjoy maximum visibility on this item. Please note that the minimum content score is 80. The minimum required content score is 80, while the maximum is 100. So we'll start filling this period right now and we'll see where we get to. So let's come along and let's show you how this is done. Now, before we start filling in all this information, you'll notice that this field here, name here, is bold and is also has an asterisk sign. Brand also same, but model here is not. Main color here is not. So it tells us that these two fields are mandatory fields. It simply implies that you must put up information in these fields, while these remaining fields are non-mandatory fields. Now, it doesn't mean they are not important. It simply means they are not required. However, this is relative to the product category that you sell. Now, we'll start putting up information into this product. Let's get started. The first thing we need to do right here is to put up the name of the product. And while you put up the name, you notice that there are examples here to guide you while you put up the name of the product. So if you are confused at any point or you have difficulty at any point, always do well to look up the information you have beneath each box so you can see a guide as to the information you're required to provide. So let's do this together. Here we have the name of the product. What is the name of the product? It's simply the name of the product. So you're required to put up keywords that tells the customer about the product. Keywords that tells the customer about the product. Now, once you look up a product on the Gmail website, customers are usually searching for certain things. So you need to put yourself in the shoe of the customer and ask yourself, if I were to buy this footwear, what would I search for or what would I type in? It is that information you use, that string of information you use to make up your product name. An example of what we have here, men's sneakers, running shoes, then black. I'll simply copy this and paste it right here. Now, customers are likely to search for black sneakers or black shoe or running shoes. Or if I want to make it more interesting, I can put athletic shoes. All right, athletic running shoes. So these are information that I think customer will search for, so I'll simply put that into my product name. If it's a mobile phone, I'll put in things like the RAM size, ROM size, some certain specification in there so customers can purchase that item, because I know customers will search for things like 4 gig Android, 4 gig RAM Android device, 128 gig ROM Android device on iPhone X, whatever. You need to understand that these are keywords that customers search for. Can you do well to put it in the product name? Now, the next we need to put up here is the brand name. But before we do that, you notice that by putting up this information, my content score has changed from 20 to 35. And you can see I have 41 characters in here, which is within the minimum or the average required number of characters for my title. Now, the next thing we have here is the brand name. The brand name is simply the brand name of the item. If the product has got a brand name, like recently we just spoke about an iPhone, the brand name for an iPhone is the Apple. We have Samsung, we have Infinix, Techno. I mean, name them. For fashion category, you've got the Gucci, the Versace, the H&M, the Marks and Spencers. I mean, lots of brand names. You also have got non-premium brands all around, and you also got items that are unbranded. We've got items that are unbranded. This simply implies that they have no special brand name on them. There are lots of them. You've got electronic gadgets without brand names. It doesn't mean they're inferior, it simply means they have no brand names. They're generic items. Now, to put in your brand name, if the product has got a brand name, simply put up the brand name in here. If it has no brand name and it's a fashion item, you use fashion as the brand name, select. While if it's a non-fashion item, you simply use generic as the brand name. So in this case, this is a fashion item. I'll simply use fashion as the brand name. Now, before we move on, I would like to highlight that we've got different kinds of brands on Jumia. Number one, we've got banned brands. Let's take a look at this. There are certain brands that are banned on the Jumia website. This simply implies that sellers are not allowed to sell such items. And also note we've got restricted brands on the website. These are brands that sellers are allowed to sell, but only authorized sellers are allowed to sell. In other words, you require authorization to sell this product. Authorization is required to sell this item. So if you must sell this item, you need to be a registered seller before you can sell this product. All right. Now let's move on quickly. What I'll need to do, just simply scroll down to the website, look out for banned and restricted brands on Jumia. Banned and restricted brands on Jumia. Let's just wait for this to load quickly. Great. So right here you can see certain brand names that are banned. So currently loading. We'll check this out shortly. Yes, so we can see brand names that are banned. So if a seller intends to sell a 24, that's a banned brand. A Rolex is a banned brand. Piatek Philippe, Forever Living Products, Kedol Health Limited, D&G, all of these brands are banned. They're not allowed to be sold on the platform. Oriflame is a banned brand. Johnson and Baby is a banned brand. All right, but we've also got restricted brands. For restricted brands, you can sell them, but it's required that you have authorization to sell them. So an example will be an example will be Microsoft. Another example we have here is Ivanka Trump, Chanel, Nivea, Christian Dior, Hugo Boss. All of these brands are restricted brands. And when I speak about license authorization, I'm simply implying the fact that you need to be an authorized retailer or a distributor of this product. And if you have a document to validate that, simply do all to send us a message via emails or simply raise a claim so that we can validate this information with the document of authorization. We can validate this and give you license authorization to sell this product on Jumia. Now note that currently receipts of this product is not enough. I've had sellers will say, oh, I imported this product from the UK. I've got receipts to validate that they are legit items. Now that's great, that's interesting, but currently it's not enough to validate whether you're an authorized distributor of this brand. And the goal of this is to prevent lots of counterfeits we find on out there. We want to ensure that customers only find quality products on the Jumia platform. Great. Remember, our vision is to be the most beloved and trusted shopping destination for Africans. And to achieve this, we are relentlessly building the most effortless and reliable online shopping environment, providing customers with the widest range of genuine products at very good prices. All right. So that's why we ensure that we only want sellers who sell quality products to be on the platform. If you're one of those, you're very much welcome. Kindly do well to raise a claim and send us this document of authorization so we can get listed on the Jumia platform to sell all of these brands. And once you go up to your seller center and you try to put up the brand name, for example, I try to put up Apple. It currently states here that the brand you want to add is restricted to official and authorized sellers. Please raise a claim here. See that? You need to raise a claim to get this sorted, right? So if you sell any of this brand that brings out this information, it simply implies that you're not allowed to sell this item without authorization. Now, for example, if you sell your own brands or you have a product whose brand is currently not listed on the Gmail platform, for example, let's try my name. You have George Odiana right here. So it states here that if George Odiana is a brand, this brand currently does not exist in our database. All you need to do is to click here to create the brand name. So this simply implies that you need to create this brand name so it's listed on the Gmail platform. Let me walk you through the steps in the next few seconds. All I need to do is to click here, open this up, and it opens me up to a form that I'm required to fill. I'll simply need to select the country. This is Nigeria. Put up Nigeria, put up the brand name. All right, so the next thing I'm required to do is to click on this link here to put up the image of the item showing the brand name boldly. All right, so you need to take a picture of the product showing the brand name boldly and upload it using this link. So I'll click on postimages.org, simply select an image. All right, so I'll just assume, let's just assume this is the product. Let's assume this is the product, and this is currently showing the image right now. I'll simply copy this link and paste it right here. You can see how easy that is. It didn't take me 30 seconds. All right, all I need to do next is to click on the category. Let's have the fashion brand. Store name would be D&D Variety Shop. Then put up my email address to be shop@gmail.com. Then finally submit. By submitting this within 24 to 48 hours, the brand is likely to be approved. You usually get a mail once your brand have been duly approved. So it's nothing to worry about. It's quite easy to create a brand name that is not listed on the Gmail website. Now let's move on to our product creation. All I need to do right now, since you're creating a product that has got no brand name and it's a fashion item, I'll simply put in fashion in here. Select fashion and great. Now the next thing I'll need to do is to put up the model. Remember I said this is not asterisk and it is not mandatory. Now this product does not have model, so I'll simply click on NA. Then for the main color, I'll put in black. Because the item is black, right? Yeah, so let's move on quickly. Next thing we'll do is to click on enter product details. But before we do that, you notice right here that my content score is 40. This simply implies that it has moved from 20 to 40 because of the information I've filled in to the content score. So make progress now by clicking on enter product details. Great. So the next thing I'll do right now is to simply click on the product line. For the product line, you'll be required to put up your shop name. So I'll put up my shop name, D&D Variety Shop, Venture, that's Jumia Mall, color family is black, material type is synthetic, I think synthetic. And this is why it's important that you know your product, so it's very much easy to describe it. Now the next one is click on product description, and right here what I'm required to do, you can see is a mandatory field. What I'm required to do is to describe this product. This is where I get to sell the product to the customer, put up all the relevant information the customer needs to purchase this product. Now it's quite easy if the product is already existing online, or the product is the purchase product from AliExpress or probably from the manufacturer, and they usually have documents describing this product. I mean, that's quite easy compared to if it's a product you make. You need to generate information, all right, which is also not so difficult. You can simply curate or generate content that you intend to use as product description. This will include the purpose of the product, how to use the product, the benefit of the product. Now this is where you sell the product to the customer. Now for the sake of this training, you can just simply go online and copy the product information we have right here. Copy the product information we have right here and paste it right here. Simply delete this. Now I always recommend that anytime you copy a product information, please always do well to review it. Now it's important to review this information so that what you're copying, you want to be sure that what you're copying is consistent with the impression you intend to create. So if I intend to create a product, I'll need to ensure that if I'm copying an information, I edit it to match the intent I intend to create. I've seen some persons copy product information. They also copy the person's store name, the other seller's product information or details. So it's important that if you must copy the exact product information and also do well to edit it to fit your context. All right, great. Let's move on quickly. The next thing we have here is the YouTube ID, which is used if the product exists on YouTube. A product information exists on YouTube. Now, probably if you sell phones, most likely there's a video on YouTube that speaks about the device, a review, or how to use or how to assemble the device. You need to copy the YouTube ID and paste it right here. But this is not a mandatory field, so we'll not focus on this. Now the next one we need to impute here is the highlights. What are the highlights? The highlights are simply key features of this product, and this is where you get to sell the product to the customer, stating certain key information you like to bring to the customer's notice. Now we'll simply come in here and look out for key features right here, and we can see what we have here. We have the color is black, sneakers, round toe, please follow size guide for sizes. Upper material is made of mesh, and also it's a breathable summer fashion sneakers. So I can simply copy this and paste this right here. I like this, and please ensure this is all in bullet points, and also do how to edit it to match your context. Let me choose to delete this. All right, I've got 5 of them. All right, so this works, and I can simply use this as my key features. This way you put things like, if you sell mobile phones and electronic gadgets, you want to put up the specification of the device, just simply pull out the spec sheet and put it in here so customers can see, oh, this phone is 128 gig ram rather. It's a 6 gig ram device. It has got 12 megapixel front facing camera, and you need to put all of that information right here. This is what sells the product to the customer. And as we make progress, you notice that my content score is increasing gradually. And remember that the minimum required content score is exactly, it is 80. If you didn't get that, no worries. It is 80 and the maximum is 100. Now let's move on. Yeah, we have what's in the box. This is where you get to tell the customer the item that is in the box. Now this is important so the customer have an expectation that as to the item they will be receiving. So in this case, I'll put one pair of sneakers, right? One pair of sneakers. Great. Now, one pair of sneakers have been clearly stated here. So if the customer is getting anything, customer knows I'm definitely getting one pair of sneakers. Nothing more, nothing less. Next thing we have here is the notes. Now, this is not exactly mandatory. I can put in NA, which means not applicable. Here we have the measurement. Under the dimension, I can simply put up NA right here, and the weight. The weight is a mandatory field. Now, it's possible that you don't know the exact weight of the product. I mean, if it's an electronic device, you usually find the weight stated there. This is 5 kg, this is 30 grams, this is, yes, you can put that in there. But how do you know the weight of a fashion item? Like how? Okay, probably except if you weigh it, all right? But in this case, you're required to put up the weight estimate, how much you suppose this item should weigh. You're required to put up the weight estimate. So in this case, I would assume a weight that I think this footwear should weigh. And for the sake of the training, I'd like to assume it should weigh not more than 0.3 kilograms. And that's 300 grams. That's how much I think this footwear should weigh. Move on to put up additional product attributes. Now, just in case you've got product warranty for this item, simply state it there. Let the customer know that they are getting warranty for this. Is it 1 year? Is it 2 years? Let them know how long the warranty lasts. But it's a shoe. There's no warranty for a shoe, for this shoe. So I'll put up NA, which means not applicable. And the warranty type, we've got different warranty type. Would the item be repaired by the vendor? Would the item be replaced by the vendor? Or should the item be taken to the service center? In this case, since it doesn't apply to any of this, I will simply leave this blank and move up to warranty address. Now for the address, you can simply put up the specific address, or for example, if it's a Samsung device, you can simply say, oh, Samsung distributor nationwide. All right. So you put up that information in there. For certification, okay, I'll just put in any here. Certification, I'll choose to leave this blank. It doesn't apply to this product category. Production country is also not mandatory. I would like us to focus on very vital information that sells the product. However, based on your category, you can simply put up information in here. Now, the next thing we have is no group selected. All right, this simply implies generic information based on this product category. So here we have gender, and for gender we'll put up men since the men breathable sneakers. Hue type we have low. Seasons we have all seasons. I mean, you can wear them anytime. Yes. And size type you have, let's use European size type. And sole type we have synthetic sole. All right, great. So by doing this, you notice that my content score has jolted from 20 where we started to 40 when we moved on to the product variation, now to 100 as we're about to leave the product variation stage. You see, we've gotten to 100, which is simply the best you can get because we've put up all the relevant information for this item. So it's not about putting up filling all the boxes, it's by filling in all the relevant information, and this provides you or serves as a guide for you while you put up the product information. Now let's move on to product variation. Great. So at this point, what you're required to do is to put up the prices and the sizes of this item. So let's move on after the other to fill in this product information. So right here we have the size guide, the sizes rather. So right here we have the sizes, and when it comes to sizes, what you're required to do is to put up the size of the product. So let's simply assume we have three sizes. Let's say size 40 to 42. I'll simply look out for size 40 and simply put it up in here. So here we go, we have size 40. Now it's possible you have different sizes of the same product, just like I said, size 40, 41, 42. Now to include that, I'll need to click on add another product variation. I'll need to add size 41 here. And finally, I'll need to add size 42 right here. You can see how that works. You can add as many sizes as you want. But note that this only works for sizes. This does not work for color variation. Right? It works for size variation and not color variation. Remember earlier on that we stated that the color of this item is black. So it would be inappropriate to put up different colors right here, stating that, oh, I've also got blue, yellow, green. If you've got different colors of the same product, you need to create them separately because they're regarded as different items. This is very, very important. Now, the next thing you need to put up here is what we call the seller SKU. The seller SKU. What's the seller SKU, you may ask? This is simply a unique code or label for your product. You simply need to put up a label to identify this product. And this can be anything, literally. So you can use an alphanumeric text to put up the seller SKU. Since this is sneakers, I'll simply say SNK001. All right, that's an example I've chosen to use. The next thing we have here is SNK002. The next one will be SNK003. I've simply put all this information right here so you can see how this is done. Now here we go. We have the EAN UPC ISBN. Now EAN simply means European Article Number. UPC means Universal Product Code. ISBN means International Serial Book Number. Now all of this is not mandatory, but if you have the information, you can always put it in there. But in this case, I'll just skip it. Now let's move on to quantity. I'll simply put up the quantity of the product I have. How many units of size 40 do we have? How many units of size 42, 41, and 42 do we have? The next thing we put up here is the price. Now this is a very, very interesting part. I've seen sellers make mistake right here while putting up the selling price of a product. Now some just take up the cost price out of their profit and put it up there. No, I would not like you to make that mistake. Now there are a few things you need to consider before putting up the selling price of an item. There are a few things you need to consider before putting up the selling price of an item. We'd like to list them out one after the other. And to guide you, I'll just put it up on my screen so you can see how this works. So there are 5 things actually you should consider before putting up the selling price of the product. Number one factor to consider before putting up your selling price is the cost price. You need to be aware of how much the item costs. Number two, you need to also consider commissions. Please note that to put up your product online is 100% free. However, for each item you sell, Jumia deducts a percentage amount as commissions. So it's important you're aware of that amount before you put up your selling price. Number three, you need to consider what we call logistics. And logistics is simply a combination of 3 very important things. Number one, the shipping fee, also known as shipping cost contribution. Please note that for every item you sell, Jumia deducts a percentage amount as shipping fee or shipping cost contribution. Now it's called shipping cost contribution because every party involved in shipping that product contributes to it. So if you're a customer, you notice that the time you intended to purchase an item, you have to pay a certain amount as shipping fee, right? Yes. Now that's shipping fee by the customer. So the seller also pays part of it and Jumia pays part of it. So everyone contributes to the shipping fee. Now moving on, the next thing you need to consider apart from shipping fee is packaging material cost. To ship your item, you need to get packaging materials, and I will show you how that is done in the next few minutes. You'll be required to get packaging materials, which can be gotten online on the website, or you can get it offline. I always recommend you buy them online. They are cheaper online. Yes, you can always buy them online, and I'll show you how this is done. And finally, you need to consider the invoice printing cost. What does that imply? Note that you'll be required to print out invoices where you intend to drop off your items. You can print it out if you've got a printer at home. You can also print it out anywhere else in any of the business centers, or you can print it out at the drop off location. And note, you can also get package material at drop off location. Now let's move on. The fourth thing you need to consider before putting up that to your selling price is your profit. How much profit do I want to make? All right, so you need to factor this amount into your selling price. And finally, your competitor's price. Five key things. Your competitor's price. Your competitor's price is a huge determinant of your price because it's a marketplace, and like I said, we've got loads of assortment and also loads of sellers. There is competition in the marketplace, and you need to know how much your seller is selling that product so you can fix a price that will help you stay competitive and stand out in spite of the number of persons in the same market or space that you're in. Now, I'll show you how this is done using what I call an e-commerce calculator. I'll put the link to the e-commerce calculator below so you can easily use it to calculate your selling price. So I'll just share this link with you right now. Now, this link contains a whole lot of resource you need to get started selling on Jumia. Now, this link you can see right here holds link to the training slide. The online training test will take later on during the session. We also need to hear from you. Let us give us feedback with respect to the training. We also want to see you how to upload your product. I mean, after now, you can watch this video again, or you can find other materials on how to upload your product in here. But let's take a look at the e-commerce calculator. So I'll simply click on this link right here, and it will take me to the e-commerce calculator. Now note that the e-commerce calculator is simply a tool that helps you calculate your selling price. All I need to do is to simply put up all of the values and it calculates my selling price for me automatically. So the first thing I'll do is to put up my cost price. So let's assume the cost price for this item is 1,200 naira. Next thing we need to consider, remember, is the commissions. So let's take a look at the commissions. How much does Jumia deduct for each item? One easy way to get that is either you look up this material, you can find commissions right here, or you go to your seller center. So you can find the commission link right here on this document I shared with you. Click on this link, it will take you straight to where you can find the commissions. Now the commissions for each item differs per category. The commission for each item differs per category, and you need to ascertain the commission for each category so you don't get charged a wrong commission because you selected the wrong product category. So right here we have fashion, and here we have men's fashion. Right, sorry about that, men's fashion. And here we have shoes, and under shoes we have fashion sneakers. So right here we can see fashion sneakers, and the commission is 15.36%. 15.36%. So I'll simply put that in my calculator as 15.36%. Now the next thing to consider is logistics, which begins with shipping fee. So let's take a look at the shipping fee. So I'll click on this, takes me to this page where you can see the shipping fee for each product category, just like you have for commissions. So right here we go fashion, men's fashion, shoes, and here we have fashion sneakers. And you can see the commission for fashion sneakers is 410 naira. 410 naira. So I'll simply put this up here under logistics as 410 naira. Now, the next thing on the logistics we need to consider is packaging materials. Now, there are several ways to package your items, and there are different packaging materials to use. That's why we have the packaging guideline right here. Click here to find packaging guideline. And right here, you can find the packaging guideline for each of the products you intend to create based on their product category. Scrolling down, you'll find a chart we have put together, a diagrammatic representation of how your product should be packaged and the packaging materials should be used. Here we go, we can see we have bubble wrap and flyer to be used for mobile phones. We have bubble wrap and carton to be used for mobile accessories. We have different packaging materials. So I'd like you to look this page up. The link is already in the document. Click on it so you can access this page and see the packaging material to buy based on size and based on type. The next thing you need to do is to look up the packaging materials. So let's take a look at the packaging materials. As you can see, we've got different packaging materials. We've got cartons, and 20 cartons goes for 20 small cartons rather go for 720 naira. That's less than 15 naira for one, right? Impressive. Now you can purchase this and it gets delivered to your house within 24 to 48 hours. You can get this item as quick as you can. All right, note that you can also purchase rather packaging materials at the drop-off location. So please do want to get your packaging materials on time. So once you get orders, you're able to ship them successfully. Now the next thing we need to talk about having product the cost of packaging material, which would be an average of 100 naira per item, is your invoices. Please note it will cost you about 100 naira to print out your invoices, probably at the drop-off station and anywhere else. So here we go, packaging materials, and I'll click on 200 naira. That's 100 naira split for packaging materials and also for profit. And packaging material cost is largely based on the item size and also the product category. Now, the next thing you need to consider is profit. How much profit do you intend to make on this item? Now, some sellers may want to make 500 naira, 700 naira relative to the cost of the item, and this will determine what value you put here. So let's assume I want to make 500 naira for this product, and this is just an example. Now you'll notice something here that we have here value-based profit. Now this allows you to calculate your profit in values. This is where you specify I want to make 1,000 naira, I want to make 20,000 naira, compared to the percentage-based profit where you need to include percentages on that profit. That's why you simply state down to make 5%, 10%, 20%. So right here, we'll click on calculate, and you can see that successfully calculated the selling price for me, and it didn't take up to a second, right? Next thing I'll do is to copy this value here, 2,729 naira and 21 kobo. So I'd like to assume that's around 2,800. So I can simply put up here 2,800. All right, so let's go back to our calculator. So right here, we'll go back to put up our cost price, 1,500. Logistics is 410 naira. Let's come here. Sorry. Now we'll go back to our calculator and now be using a percentage based profit system. So here we go, we'll put up the cost price 1,500. Logistics is same 400 naira. Packaging material and printing 200. Commissions 15.36. And for the percentage based profit, I will simply put up here 10%. That's 10. Then once I click on calculate, it simply calculates the value. Then I need to go back here and you can see right here 2,742 naira, right? 2,742 naira. You see the difference is now, which is approximately 2,800. All right. So either way, it still works. Now, I'll simply put it here 2,800. Now, just in case you want to run a promotion or you also want to create the impression of a promotion such that you want customers to have something like what you have here. You see here, the initial price here was 5,471 naira, but it's currently being sold for less than that amount. All right, you can simply do that by putting up, let's say 5,000 naira here, then right here you put up 2,800. You can see that 5,000, then 2,800, 5,000, then 2,800. Or you may put up a different value, let's say 3,000 naira, as you please. Now, if you must include this sales price, you also need to ensure that you put up the timeline in which you want this promotion to run. You put up the timeline which you want this promotion to run. Let's move on quickly. All right, great. So there we go. I've simply put up this information right here. Now I can choose not to include this and simply stop at price and it will work. But if I must include this, I must include the date. Now the final thing you need to do is to upload images. So I'll simply click on upload images and simply select the images from my device that I selected earlier on. I've got about 2 of them. This is the footwear. You can put up as up to 8 images that you've got. All right, there we go. So we'll put up the images up here. We can put up as many as we have, about 8. But note that it's important that the images have at least a dimension of 200 by 200 pixel minimum and a maximum dimension of 3000 by 3000. Now, it's oftentimes required that you ensure that your product comes in a white background. That's what's recommended. However, it is not mandatory. The goal you're looking out for is clarity. The product just has to be clear and look very, very good. All right, look very, very good. Now the next thing I'll need to do is click on submit and finish. Submit and finish. Simply submit right now and just wait for this to load. Now as you can see at the top here, ideally it takes 48 hours for this product to be reviewed and approved. It takes about 48 working hours. That means if my product is created on a Monday, it's likely to be approved between Monday and Wednesday. Alright, so not to worry if you create your product and it hasn't gone live, it takes about 48 hours for it to be reviewed. Also note that due to the Black Friday currently, once you create your product, they are likely to be approved immediately. Now, it doesn't mean it will not be reviewed, it will still be checked, and if there's any flaw, it's going to be turned off. So please note this. Now you can see these are the products you just created and they're live already. And you can always find them under products, manage products to take you to your product inventory. Now let's take a look at this once again. All right, great. So we can see the product right here. Now up here, I can do lots of things. I can change the prices. I can change this to 3,500. Submit. I can choose to change the quantity. Let's assume I've sold the item offline or I've got a new item in stock. I can simply change the quantity. Also, another thing I can do is to turn it on and off. I turn it off and on. Easy, right? Yes, you can do this. You can always turn it on and off. But there's more. You can simply click on an existing product to take you live to the product on the Jumia website. Here we go. This is the product we just created. Right, this is the product we just created. You can see my store name right here, and this is the product information. Impressive, right? Yes, impressive, impressive. And to see all the products on your store, I can simply click on seller information. It will take me to my page on the Gmail website, and I can see all the product I've got. I can always copy this link to share. Sorry, cut this part. Great. So I can simply copy this link. I can simply copy this link to share on various social media platforms as a means to advertise my product. So customers can easily find my store on Gmail. You can see you've got lots of products right here. Alright, so you can do the same, cut your product information and start creating your product. Another thing you can do is to copy this product. I can simply copy this product, copy the entire product information, and duplicate the product. Quite easy. It's quite easy. But all I need to do is to ensure that if I'm duplicating a product or making changes, I'll need to change the seller SKU, because no two seller SKU should be the same. No two products should have the same seller SKU. So I'll simply do this and submit and finish. So if there's any error in what I'm doing, it's going to notify me to say, George, there's an error right here, please kindly make correction. So that's one way to go about creating your product. Now the second way I want to show you how to create your product is quite easy. All right, so once your product, you go to the seller center and you find an existing product. So let's take a look at this item we've got here. This is the Dove Rich Moisture Editor Wash. I found this product, but I want to create it. All right, I want to create it on my store. All I need to do is to click on have one to sell. By clicking on have one to sell, it duplicates the entire product information and put it in my store. You can see this right here. All I need to do is to put up the seller SKU, the quantity, the price I've got available. So I'll simply change this to BW for body wash 001. Put up the quantity as 1, price as 5,000 naira. You can find the images right here. Let's pick this one's the first one. You can see the product information. You can find right here the store name, lots of information that you have access to once you copy an existing product, and you can simply submit. You can simply submit. So those are two primary ways to go about creating your product on the Jumia website. Thank you so much for joining in.